Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining us. This is John Sudsbury from the Sugar Bowl. I'm going to be moderating today. If you can start off with a brief opening statement, then we'll go to questions from the media.
Good to see everybody. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. Again, we've kind of been in a mode here of kind of the same timeline of preparation. So I think we've got a good model of how we've been preparing here the last 3 weeks. It's kind of a different bowl scenario this year. You know, you're kind of here with your practice site and routine, not as much time in between, not the recruiting piece in between, not all the award shows and all that stuff. So it's a little bit like a championship week, Clemson used to playing in the ACC championship, like we've had the good fortune of doing the Big Ten. So like a preparation, we've had some good work. It's going to be a tremendous challenge. They do a great job on defense as always. And we're prepping well so far. Looking forward to finishing the week and having a best showing we can have here Friday night down there in New Orleans.
We'll go ahead to questions, starting with Bill Landis from The Athletic.
Hey, Kevin, I'm wondering if at any point over the last couple of years, you've noticed it becoming more difficult to do kind of check with me stuff at the line of scrimmage and having to either huddle or play like at a really fast tempo to give the offense more of an advantage. Because, you know, especially against this team, you check, they check, you check, they check. It seems like you can get yourself into a little bit of a pickle there if you got into that kind of rhythm.
I think since we've been here, you know, Bill, like I remember the first year we did this 20 years ago at Northwestern, and after that year, everybody thought we were smart, and they started asking questions. Well, you want to run this play to a 3 technique or this play to a 1? And, well, if we can't block the 3 or can't block the 1, we're going to lose. You know, every play needs to have a single high or a 2 deep answer in the passing game. You got to have your protection. So since we've been over here with what Coach Meyer had going in place and with what Ryan and I had started with, and a lot of plays sometimes have a lot of answers. So, you know, if you're trying to find the perfect play, you need to, you know, I always used to use the word reasonably sound. You know, you're not going to be perfectly sound, but you got to be reasonably sound. Clemson does a great job creating negative plays. I think they're second in the nation in sacks, second in the nation in lost yardage, lost tackles for loss. So you got to do plays where you don't give up the negatives. You're reasonably clean. You're protecting the quarterback. So you can do, you know, you can always get cute. You can always have the I guess the chalk last, whether it be the O or D, but at the end of the game, it's going to come down to blocking. It's going to come down to tackling. It's going to come down to ball security. It's going to come down to short yardage and scoring situations. And like I've always said for the last years, every day somebody's kicking somebody's butt. And whether it be in the media world, you guys are writing great articles or not, whether it be coaches, we're recruiting great guys or not, and practicing well or not, winning games, every day you got to go out and kick some tail. And we can get cute with signals and scheme, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to play well. And they do a tremendous job of scheme, but they do a tremendous job of playing hard, playing physical, and kicking butt. And that's why they're a great defense every year. That's Coach Venables.
Next, we'll go to Dan Hope from 11 Warriors.
Yeah, you mentioned they're a team that gets a lot of pressures. It seems like, you know, Justin, maybe in a couple of these games, you know, teams have been able to make him a little bit uncomfortable with blitzing. Are there things that you guys can do as coaches to help him be more comfortable in those situations?
Yeah, well, and great question, because again, I do think, you know, the really good teams can, one, create pressure, and as you create pressure, not give up big plays. So your ability to make your protections work, your ability to make your identifications work, your ability to make your offensive line or tailbacks work to figure out who's coming. And then also, by the way, the coverage is changing. So the quarterback's feeling people moving around him. So the best way for one, you practice well, and Coach Dan, Coach Dennis do a great job with their meetings and prep, but that quarterback looks great when everybody's functioning around him really well. And this is going to be a stressful game because of all the stress that Clemson brings with their different looks, their different formations, their different fronts, coverages, pressures, twists, blitzes. But bottom line, they make you work. They make every play is a fist fight in the passing game from a protection standpoint, whether it be one-on-one rush or twist or pressures. And then every play for Justin's a fight because the pictures are changing and your ability to process and get to the right read and distribute the ball on time, on target, as there's a lot of moving parts. So, you know, he's a tremendous player. And I think you know, his quarterback rating is still, I think, one of the all-time highs in the history of the game. So I think he will do well, but he will do better, as all quarterbacks do, when the surrounding parts do their job to help him.
Next, we'll go to the line of Doug Lesmerises from Cleveland.com.
Hey, Kevin, a little more on Justin. You know, first 3 games of the year, he's 11 touchdowns, no picks, 87 or 88% completion. almost playing perfect. In the last 3 games, I think it's 4 touchdowns, 5 picks. We know you guys got in that rhythm where you had a canceled game, then you play, then a canceled game, then you play. Ryan was out, Corey was out, Chris Olave's out. How much did that affect Justin and the whole offense? And where do you see Justin right now in his preparation to try to play his best game Friday?
I think he's been preparing and practicing really well. I think he gets, with Coach Day and his background, I think in some strong guidance and direction on how to prepare and how to practice and study. And then we work really hard. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know how many times you guys will get a chance to see us at practice, but I basically run the scout defense, and we're doing it because I'm trying to give them the looks the best we can. So you're getting a game look, and that's hard because, you know, your young players and your scout team players aren't quite as talented as what you're going to go against on the field, but you're really working hard just to create those looks. You know, I know, I mean, in you know, the one game when Coach Day was out, you know, we did put up some pretty good numbers. Even the last couple of games, I think we're putting over 500 yards. So we're running it well. So it's nice. The other parts are picking it up. It'll be difficult to run like we've ran the last few games against Clemson, but I think the balance has made it a complete deal. And maybe those numbers initially were almost too high, unrealistic high. I don't know if anybody's completed 87% for the year. But again, you know, again, if he's been off a little bit, I think as much as anything, maybe as a player, sometimes you can try, maybe you can have a choice you might want back. But at the end of the day, I just think as we as a unit play more complete, his talent, his greatness, his playmaking ability takes off. And Doug, and I think we're okay. Did you guys get any lake effect snow up there this week? Did you get pounded up there in Cleveland a little bit? Yeah, I see it. Thumbs up. All right.
Next up is Bill Rabinowitz from Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, Kevin, I asked Garrett this. Chris Olave, I would imagine as much as anybody on this team wants to play in this game, especially after missing the Northwestern game. What's your sense of him, and just how different is this offense with him in it?
Well, I think there's a comfort factor with the timing and the time that we're talking, Justin, that they've had together. So I think whether you call that a security blanket, I don't know if I'd say that, but I think there's a lot of confidence. He tracks deep balls unbelievably well and has great spatial awareness. And I think there's a lot of confidence that I think, you know, Justin knows in time if he's going to him that, but between he and Garrett, particularly as years went long, that those guys had a great chance if he could get at someone on target to make a play for him. So he's a tremendous player, and it's good to have him back practicing. He's looking well. We'll see how the week keeps going. But it's you know, I mean, he's one of the best deep ball threats, not because he's fast, just his ability. I think his baseball background, playing center field, his ability to track deep balls has been very impressive through the years. And he's one of our veteran players. He's a great player. I know he took last year personal, maybe a little bit more personal than he should, but I think it's what competitors do. And I know he's looking forward to continuing preparation and going out Friday night and seeing how the game unfolds for him and the opportunities he has.
Next will be Rod Walker from the New Orleans Advocate.
Hey, Coach, Wyatt Harris made All-American today. I just want to ask you what he sort of meant to that front for you all.
He's really very, very tough, physical, stout, playing hard, has a little bit of old school nastiness to him. Both he and Josh Myers in there, kind of side by side. Made a commitment to come back. You know, a lot of guys were opting for this, and he opted to come back and, you know, be a Buckeye, you know, and help his teammates and give us a chance to maybe play for a conference championship and now have a chance to play in the Final Four here. So he did that because he's not only a great player, but he's a great teammate. You guys don't see a lot of this, but as hard as he plays, as physically plays, as tough as he is, sometimes the best thing he does when he brings the juice and he talks to our team, he carries a lot of clout. He has a lot of heart, a lot of conviction. He not only does he talk that talk, but he walks the walk. He's a tremendous player. His accolades are well-deserving, and proud of him. And glad we get to go to war with him this week.
Next up is Tim May.
Thank you very much. Hi, Coach. I was just wondering.
Hey, going back to that one deal too now, that's going to be a great battle of the linebackers that Clemson has and their toughness and physicality with Wyatt. Those are some tremendous one-on-one matchups. I was just watching some tape of last year's game, and their linebackers after a couple plays were even almost congratulating each other. The other opponent, JK and the one linebacker locked up one time. That play, you can see them like appreciating and respecting each other, how tough they play. So that's going to be exciting watching Wyatt and our inside guys against those great linebackers that Brent has. Sorry
Yes,
about
that's
that.
what I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, you guys have played these guys before. You know, you're familiar you had success moving the ball on these guys last year. How much does that help, just the demeanor, plus adding the fact that the way you guys have run the ball the last 2 weeks, the last 2 games especially? How much does that help the confidence, the demeanor of this offense headed into this game?
I think I don't know if I mean, I think sometimes it can be talked. I don't know how many times I think our players are not somewhat confident going into games. I think there's a lot of self-assuredness our guys have, the way we work, the talent they have, the competition we create in practice, going against each other, et cetera. Having played against them, I guess some things come back, or you can physically put on plays and like see a blitz they're doing this year. Hey, they did that blitz last year. That's going to happen again, but you can see the players you're going against. You can see yourself competing against their players. But at the same time, what you got is ultimate respect, because you got as consistent a program in college football this decade, and it shows up every week. And having worked with Coach Venables for 9 years, I know the way he coaches, the way he teaches, the way he leads those guys, the way his kids play, the way their defense plays. So you got your hands full. So it's nice to have a lot of confidence, but it is going to be, and it's nice that we moved the ball last year, but the key thing is not moving the ball, it's getting points. And you're not, in this day and age of college football, you're not going to win championships, kicking field goals. You're not going to win championships scoring 17, 21 points. You got to get in the end zone. So we had some success, but we got to find more success, Tim, because it was not good enough last year.
We have time for one more. We'll go to Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Very well, Dennis.
Just wanted you to reflect on how you got there. Obviously, you were available in 2016, but just the circumstances after that playoff game. If Clemson doesn't beat Ohio State and shut them out, Urban doesn't retool the offensive staff, and here you guys are.
Yeah, I just very fortunate, very grateful, not wishing bad ill luck or ill will on anyone, but that the opportunity was allowed to be here. I've had the opportunity to have coached at Oklahoma and Ohio State now for 13 years. I think in the last 50 years, I think Ohio State's number one and Oklahoma's number two, and wins the last 50 years. Those are two most winning teams. I've also had the opportunity to be at Northwestern and win a Big Ten championship. Had a chance to spend 6 years in Indiana to build a program that's still doing pretty well. And those are actually the two programs with the most losses. So I've seen the two spectrums of where it is. But I'm grateful with the opportunities and jobs and the people we had that Coach Meyer gave me and my family an opportunity to be here. And with that, to work with Ryan and Coach Doug, Coach Alford, and now Coach Hartline, the guys we got, to really, most importantly, anything else. And if you saw it practice, they just go out there and practice and have a little fun with Josh Myers and Wyatt Davis and kind of rib Ruckert and Luke a little bit and have a good old fashioned play, get a little pass pro down there, make sure the defensive linemen know you're there, and just have a little fun coaching ball. So very, very grateful to be here and excited to finish this season. And if we're lucky, have the opportunity to keep doing it in the years to come.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate you taking the time, and good luck with your preparations the rest of the week. We'll see you in a few days.
Happy New Year. Thank you.